Hey guys, welcome back. We're the Alpha Strike, and this is another episode of Mikeneto's Brotherhood of Metaclix, the Recruit Edition. So here's Mikeneto, going to show us another awesome figure to recruit to the Brotherhood of Metaclix.
Thank you, Professor X. So I did a little bit of digging, and I remembered one of my favorites here, Miss Mary Marvel from the World's Finest set, coming in at 150 points.
Finally, a figure that's over 100 points, something I can relate to. So will you please tell me about this awesome figure?
Absolutely, Professor X. So we're going to start off with her trait, Supremely Uncorruptible, until she gets on my meta team. Opposing characters of equal or lower point value can't target Mary Marvel with Outwit, Perplex, or Probability Control. So you can't prob me, you can't plex me, you can't outwit me unless you are 150 points or actually 151 or more. That's right, 150 still can't touch me. And then she leads us out with Hypersonic, Super Strength, 11 attack, 17 defense, impervious, willpower, flight, 4 damage, probability control, breaking down into impervious, then goes to back to invincible with an 18, 12 attack charge, and into invulnerable with the charge. Finishes off with Earthbound, neutralized, a stop click with regen, and plasticity. So, I mean, overall, she's bringing a lot to the table for 150 points.
So what does her stop click do?
The stop click specifically says the first time this power is revealed, due to damage from an opponent's attack, stop turning the dial. Mary Marvel can use regen, and when she does, don't decrease the result by 2. This power can't be ignored. So for those of you counting at home, if you roll a 6, I do believe that will bring you back to top dial. Yeah, right back to number 1 on a 6. So they spent most of the game breaking down that invincible, impervious, invulnerable, not being able to outwit you, surviving on exploit weakness and Pensai alone, just for you to come back to top dial.
Man, that seems really powerful. Well, does she have any weaknesses? I mean, how do we bring her down?
Overall, you're looking at being able to outwit me with higher level characters or perplex me down. Really, you're just looking to beat me into the ground as best you can between exploit weakness and penetrating psychic blast. I mean, just really,
pretty
you're
specific things,
trying to hit me down, and then making sure that once you get me to my last click, you've got somebody to follow up my miraculous 16 defense to polish me off, somehow getting through my shape change.
Seems pretty solid. Well, what about things that could make her even more powerful?
More powerful? You know, I don't know necessarily that she needs anything else. I would definitely bring some Ultra Heavies to take advantage of that super strength, bring her up to 7 damage with her own probability control to begin with. Maybe some TK to throw her out there, take advantage of that 12 hypersonic. And, that's really all I've got. I mean, you could throw a Hulkbuster arm on her to give her exploit weakness, or, everybody jumps to those possessors. She could be taking advantage of some powers there from Brainiac or Eclipso.
Just sidestep could be helpful too. 14 squares of movement at that point.
Leaning into the sins and the rock of eternity and the Pandora's box there. One other thing that I thought about that has suddenly left my mind.
She also would be a good target for ID cards, right? Like a round table as well. She's a high point character. She has a lot more options than some of the characters would call in cards.
Yeah, she could call in anybody who was 150 points or less. Seems like a waste to use an ID card instead of her, but, use the ID card people to soften them up and then have her do the follow-up there. Proteus may be a good one to her, just giving her those +1s throughout her whole dial. Oh, I'm going to take some damage. I really don't care because eventually I'm just going to be able to regen and come back anyway. So really, whole lot of figure with not a whole lot to stop her.
That's pretty amazing. I gotta try her on some of my teams for sure.
One thing to keep in mind, she is 150 points, so that is half of your build in a 300-point game. And if you're throwing in additional resources or wonderful toys, gonna be kind of hard pressed for points. So I classify her into I think I'd have to say maximum carnage at that point because she's just dealing the damage, and we'll throw in some iron defense as well because it's really hard to take her down. And then of course we just got the wonderful toys on the side.
Right, and we can still use our other figures to perplex her up, right?
Absolutely. It says that opposing characters can't
straight
do.
from opposing.
So you could do bigger, better, faster on her as well. Just make some really good adjustments there, and just make her a solid tent pole to make your enemies quake in their boots.
Imagine if she had Calculator or Mystics. I think she'd be really broken at that
She'd
point.
probably also be 200 points at that point.
Possibly. I'd say more like 170, but that's just me. Anyways, guys, that was our show for today. So remember, strike first.
And strike hard.